council meeting will be uploaded on the council website and will be available to watch at a later time. I would like to acknowledge the Googly Yalanja people who are the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I would also like to pay respects to their elders, both past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to other Indigenous Australians who may be listening or watching this meeting today. I note that all councillors are present today. Our CEO is in attendance and along with staff who are involved in today's meeting. I would like to welcome members of the community and who are present in the gallery. So, does any councillors have any conflict of interest or material personal interest they need to declare? No conflicts of interest, thank you. This morning, we have a deputation from Reef Guardian Council Program, and I would like to welcome Rebecca Allen and Brianna Rickard from the Great Barrier Reef and Marine Park Authority, who will deliver the deputation on the Reef Guardian Council Program, which is very important in the protection of the Great Barrier Reef. Thank you, Rebecca and Brianna.
Thank you very much. Wonderful, thank you. Thank you very much to Council for having us along today, and congratulations post-election to the incoming Council. We know this is an incredibly busy time for you, so we really appreciate you making the time for us to come up today and provide this briefing. My name is Rebecca Allen and this is Brianna Rickard. We are based in the Queen Office representing the Reef Guardian Council Program for the Council Authority. Our presentation this morning, we would really like to be conversational as well, so if you have any questions or things you'd like to discuss as we go through, please just sing out. I think we might have stumbled at the first slide. Excellent, thank you. Before we begin, we also would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we're meeting today, the Googly Yalanja people, the elders past, present and emerging, and the around 70 clan groups across the Great Barrier Reef region. We thank them for their continued custodianship of the country as the oldest living culture on Earth. Bree and I really love this slide as a reminder of the importance of what we do and the importance of the partnerships we have with people like the Reef Guardian Councils. And it's a reminder that the Great Barrier Reef is not just about coral reef ecosystems. In fact, they only make up around 7% of the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park. We have over 2,000 square kilometres of mangroves and 6,000 square kilometres of seagrass. There's 14 coastal ecosystems that connect the catchment to the reef itself. It's a place of global renown. It was a World Heritage listed property in 1981. It is globally recognised, and you would definitely understand the connection of people to the Great Barrier Reef. It's where we live, work and play. Our traditional owners have deep relationship with the Great Barrier Reef region, but we also do as the catchment community. And just about who we are, we're an Australian government, a federal government agency charged with protecting the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park. We report directly to Minister Tanya Plibersek, and we work under the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Act 1975. We do this working very closely with Queensland Parks and Wildlife through the Joint Field Management Program and through other agencies such as the Department of Agriculture and Fisheries, Department of Climate Change, Energy, Environment and Water, and the Office of Great Barrier Reef. We manage the Great Barrier Reef, but we are acutely aware of its pressures and that many of these pressures are actually outside of our jurisdiction, and that's why we really recognise the importance of working with partners. Before we begin, I'm sure you're all aware of the Reef Health media over the past summer. Unfortunately, we did announce the 5th mass bleaching event. We've had mass bleaching in 2016, 17, 20, 22 and 24. So you'll recognise the frequency increasing there. We are unfortunately one of 53 nations around the world that are acknowledging a global mass bleaching event over this summer. It is very important to recognise though that bleaching does not equate directly to reef death, coral death. It course, ecosystems are given the chance and the opportunity, they can bounce back. They do have resilience, but it's the importance of those periods of rest and recovery that are critical to the reef. As we drove up today, again, we noticed that the scars down the hillside, the landslides that were experienced in this region, and the massive impacts that have happened. We've just been up recently to Cook Shire Council and Woodjord, and we recognise Dare too. It's not only about the heat over summer, it's the frequency of other impacts. So flooding is another way that we can experience coral bleaching, but it is also another general impact on the Great Barrier Reef. Unfortunately, the frequency and severity of natural disasters is increasing, and so too is the pressure on the Great Barrier Reef. So every 5 years, as a regulatory requirement, we publish the Great Barrier Reef Outlook Report. It is due very soon. It will be coming out in around August this year. Basically, that report is the status of the reef ecosystems, the threats and the pressures that are on the Great Barrier Reef. Now, the previous Outlook reports have remained unchanged. The key threats to the reef are climate change, land-based runoff, so water quality, coastal development, and the remaining impacts of illegal fishing. Highly likely, I'm not a betting woman, but I bet on this one. Unfortunately, those threats will remain the same when we release the Outlook report. You'll notice though from those key threats, we manage the marine park. Those key threats are largely outside of the marine park. They actually occur in the catchment. So that brings us back to the importance of the Reef Guardian Council program and working with our partners. I'm very fortunate to have worked in public service in state and our federal government for over 20 years. I've worked in coastal development assessment, coastal planning, environmental compliance, and executive positions. Over that period, it's become even more blatantly obvious to me that while the state and federal government have policies, legislation and the like, in terms of real action in the catchment to address those key threats to the reef and engage with the catchment community, it's local government that are actually the boots on the ground that are undertaking this work. That's why Rihanna and I feel particularly privileged to manage this Reef Guardian Council program to bring about real, tangible benefits to the Great Barrier Reef through this partnership.
So now I'd just like to take some time to really drill into what the Reef Guardian Council program is. It's a voluntary partnership between local governments and us, the Reef Authority, and it really is acknowledging, as Bex just highlighted, that many of the threats to the reef fall outside of our jurisdiction, and acknowledging that the work that you as local governments are doing in the catchment space. The program was launched back in 2007. You would be interested to know that Douglas Shire has been part of the program since 2009 when you were part of the Cairns Regional Council, and then after the amalgamation in 2014 you officially joined up again to be part of the program. So currently we've got 19 local governments, as you can see from the map, that are part of the program, and we're looking at expansion into some more Indigenous local governments at the moment. So looking at some of those up throughout the Cape, also down to Palm Island and Woorabinda to include those. And we're always open to growing the program into other councils. However, we're really most focused at the moment on having a solid, continuous improvement in our program for our existing councils. Underpinning the Reef Guardian Council program is the principle of continuous improvement. We're really focused, Ben and I, in managing this program on continuous improvement for your councils to take action to address those key threats to the reef. We're focused on continuous improvement for us in managing the program to make it worthwhile to you and to see real outcomes for the reef. We also, underpinning the Reef Guardian Council program, is the acknowledgement that you are connected to your catchment communities. So we see through this program the ability to educate your communities and to bring your people in your catchment along on this journey of reef protection also. We also can see a real potential for advocacy through this program, through a united collective of all of the part of the program, and through us, our ability to advocate for you for further investment from state and federal governments and other organisations and programs that support the action that you take on the reef. So as far as the governance structure goes for our program, we do have a terms of reference and an MOU that the program is governed by. We also have a couple of different tiers in our program. We have an executive committee, and you'll see from this slide that that includes mayors, CEOs, councillors, general manager level staff within councils. We also have sitting on our executive committee a representative from LGAQ, and then we have our Reef Authority general manager and director and assistant director as part of that executive committee. The executive committee meets twice a year, so once virtually and once in person. So our next executive committee meeting is actually next week, and that will be our first virtual one for the term. And then we will have our face-to-face meeting in October, where we combine that with the LGAQ conference, because we know that we get much better representation from our Reef Guardian councils if we have it on the day post the LGAQ conference, when you're all already together generally for that conference. Our next level is the working group, and this is what we like to consider as our brains trust, and I did hear Council mention that earlier. Our working group currently, for your understanding, has Melissa Mitchell as your representative, and this really is the brains trust of our program. We are constantly amazed by the level of dedication from these working group officers across the reef catchment who are driving some incredible initiatives across your region that do end up in amazing outcomes for the reef. So our working group, we support them to meet 4 times a year, and this is a growing network of sharing between the working group level officers in our Reef Guardian Council program. They're now starting to regularly reach out to each other, to share learnings, to share programs, to share wins, successes and challenges, and that network is growing. We meet with the working group at least 2 times a year face to face, and we will pay for that travel that's required for that. We also are encouraging councils to have a communications officer as part of the program, or a communications team contact, and that way we can work directly with your comms teams to help promote that you're part of the Reef Guardian Council program, and to help also share with your catchment communities about things that people are doing in your region. Thank you. So the next part of the program is that every council has develops an action plan. And this is an action plan that showcases actions that you are taking now, currently, but also future actions that you would like to take if you have support to be able to do that. This, as we mentioned earlier, is a voluntary program. So none of these actions are things that we hold you to. We don't have the jurisdiction to do that. We don't have a big stick approach. But what we do see in this action plan space is an amazing representation of actions that your councils are doing. So these are some examples of things that have been in your action plan for the last period. If you look at impacts from climate change, there's solar panel installations, installation of the photo monitoring points, the post-snap, that show changes along your coastline, and a corporate greenhouse gas inventory, starting on that process to reduce emissions and reduce costs from energy. We'll also see that reducing the impacts from land-based activities that you've developed at CHAS, a coastal hazard adaptation strategy, foreshore management plans, and when we consider how you manage waste, there are amazing wins for outcomes for the reef in how waste is managed, not just about the litter that can end up as marine debris out into the reef, but also in the understanding that any organic matter that ends up in landfills creates methane gas, which is a climate change gas. So waste is another big space in the program. We also have actions under protecting, rehabilitating and restoring habitats, feral animal and weed control, and revegetating natural areas. And then if we think about the water-based activities, Douglas Shire are doing some incredible work around recreational fishing trail and your kids' fishing days, and educating your community about sustainable fishing and doing the right thing out out there in the marine park. And then if you think about conserving historic and cultural heritage, you have cultural place names for locality signs and heritage programs. So they're just some of the examples, and we want to highlight that because when we're thinking about the Reef Guardian Council program and actions, it's not just things happening close to the coast or on the water. It's all of those things that are having an impact on those key threats to the reef. So as far as our role, we're managing the program, we're ensuring those governance structures and the executive committee and the working group are getting together. We're building this network of sharing throughout our working group and our executive committee. We're also really focused on capacity building and building the opportunity for councils to learn, to have extra professional development and to start doing more, that continuous improvement approach. So some of our capacity building opportunities that we've been supporting are things like the lunchtime learning sessions. So these are just a regular webinar where we will connect all of our councils with interesting programs that are happening within the region. It's also a space for councils to share. We've been doing a lot of space and capacity building in the last little while around erosion and sediment control, just as a little focus area. And some of those examples are, we had a lunchtime learning recently from Sunshine Coast Regional Council. So they're not part of our program, but they're a council that are doing some really good things in erosion and sediment control, working with developers and working with their own civil teams. And they were happy through our network to share their whole program down to actually sharing templates that have worked for them. So this is the kind of approach that we're taking. If we see something that's happening well, we really encourage the council to share that throughout our lunchtime learning sessions. We're also supporting attendance for councils at different conferences and workshops. So we had one at the beginning of the year that was erosion and sediment control and stormwater happening in Brisbane, being run by Healthy Land Waters and Water by Design, and we supported attendance for Reef Guardian Council officers to that. Now that might not have been our working group member because they might not have been best placed. It might have been someone in a planning team or in a compliance team or in a development team who would be better off attending those sessions. So we're always looking for those opportunities as well. And very soon we're supporting other council officers to actually attend some erosion and sediment control training that Mel has organised through some Reef Guardian grant funding. And so that will enable other councils to come up here and do that training in Yorkshire. Another thing that we're keen to do is to tell the story of what councils are doing. And so you'll see up on your screen there the Reef Guardian Council Climate Change Snapshot. Beck and I are not keen on reporting just for reporting's sake in this program. We see how busy councils are already, and we're always putting a lens over whether there's a purpose to this reporting. So now we've shifted to more of a thematic report that tells a story about what councils are doing in this space. It also provides the opportunity, this document, to show where there could be more done if the investment was there. We're working now on the water quality thematic report, and that will be the next one telling the work that councils are doing. So we might go to the next slide, thanks. We also have the opportunity to engage, as been mentioned, with your community, and we're now delivering virtual reef adventures in conjunction with our reef education team. They're a webinar session that your councils can host and have done during school holidays. So a school holiday program running in April and September. Your libraries and community centres can host those, can advertise them, and have direct contact through that program with your community. Thanks. Over to you, Beck.
So the Reef Guardian Council program itself, you're looking at the entire team. So we're a small team. We punch well above our weight. We work very hard because we're very passionate about this program. It's also a program that internally, if we're very, very honest, doesn't come with massive buckets of money. We do focus all of our funds on supporting the councils through travel, capacity building and the like. And also in really shining a light and promoting that local government is a key reef management partner. Now it's that work and working with the likes of Councillor Jeff Baines, who you might know from the Cassowary Coast Regional Council. He is the first Reef Guardian Council Executive Committee chair that we've had in the program. So in this previous term, we instigated having a council officer actually, representative, chair the program. Through his advocacy in that chair role and through the likes of the climate change snapshot and the like, we very much as a collective took the message to both the state and Australian government that local government is well placed and is already taking action to help the Great Barrier Reef. Councillor Baines has some words around not being seen as a child of the state and the like, and having direct funding opportunities from the federal government straight to local government. That's not a frequent occurrence. In fact, it's quite rare that you have that direct funding opportunity. It's one of the rare times in my life that I have been a true budget geek, staying up late at night, scouring the budget wording to see did the Reef Guardian councils, did the advocacy work. We did. So in 2022, I think it actually was, which seems like an age ago, the Australian government budget announced that there was $17.48 million direct for the Reef Guardian councils. So that was a great win, and it came about through direct recognition of your action plans, showing that you are undertaking work already to help the reef, but also that in those action plans you had the area showing basically a prospectus, the actions that you could take, the programs and initiatives if you had some funding. So it directly acknowledged that, and it directly acknowledged that fits straight under the Reef 2050 long-term sustainability plan. The other thing that was phenomenal about it wasn't just to local government, it was very specific. It was only eligible to the 19 existing Reef Guardian councils, so direct recognition, you had to have an action plan in place, the projects had to be listed in there, and that it was non-competitive. Not only was it only for the 19 councils, it was non-competitive within that $17.48 million. So rather than have, say, Douglas competing against Cairns, who might have a large grant writing team able to whip up grants applications, or Wodja competing with Townsville, it was that it would only be $920 per council, all fair and equitable across all 19 Reef Guardian councils. So this was fantastic recognition. Those agreements are all in place now. We are incredibly proud and pleased. All 19 councils bid for these grants. All 19 councils received their full $920,000 and have grant agreements in place to roll out amazing projects across the Great Barrier Reef region. I do want to give a particular nod actually to your council. We were having a bit of a look this morning around the grants projects that have been put up across the 19 councils. The Reef 2050 plan is quite broad. There is a pretty broad remit about what is a reef protection initiative. Your council put up an amazing suite of projects that when you look at them and what they actually cover, erosion and sediment control, the wastewater, and looking at your septics and the possible impacts on the groundwater, your emission and your feral pig control. It covers such a broad spectrum of the Reef 2050 plan. It was just a fabulous example of how amazing this council is as a reef guardian council. So I did just want to give you a particular nod to that. It was really very impressive. So, what are the benefits of being a reef guardian and being part of the program? As Ree said, it is access to a network of like-minded councils and key partners. We probably haven't touched on that, but particularly for the executive committee level, we do bring other partners in to hear directly from you. We have brought the Great Barrier Reef Foundation into those executive committees. We have brought Department of Climate Change, Energy, Environment and Water, and DESI in to hear directly from you about how you are well placed to take action for the reef and how funding or capacity building would support you to do that. That has led to acknowledgement in not only those grants, but things like the GBRF grants where it specifically says local government in there. We're focused around the capacity building opportunities, and that's a great value add for councils where your training budget might be small. We can help get your council officers to organise capacity building opportunities across the GBR. We are very keen to do more of the promotion of your initiatives, hence the wanting to partner with your communications teams. But by having the catchment community and the state and federal government understand the range of activities you're taking. We're hoping that that will also lead to further advocacy for capacity and funding for councils. And we support you to engage with your catchment community. And again, this is a phenomenal council in regards to engaging with your catchment community. We'll just look at the Reconciliation Week program that you've got in place out there, which is incredibly impressive. So we try and help your engagement with the community. We've brought up a whole suitcase full actually of calico bags that says we're proud to be a Reef Guardian Council from now to then use at the fishing, I think it's the fishing day that's coming up soon, to engage the kids as an activity for council. So they're just some of the benefits of being part of the program. As we said, it's not a regulatory requirement. We don't have a big stick. This is a carrot, this program. This is about supporting you in your capacity to take action to help the Great Barrier Reef and working with you as true reef management partners. We do have a video that talks to the benefits.
On behalf of the Reef Authority, I want to say welcome to all of you, our Reef Guardian Council members. Whether you're an existing member or a new one, the work you are doing every day is making a real and tangible difference to the health of the Great Barrier Reef for the future. The Great Barrier Reef is a vast region and it is subject to a whole range of different pressures that we as a management agency can't manage alone. We really value the Reef Guardian Councils and their expertise at a local scale.
The Reef Guardian Council program brings together 19 councils that are dealing with the same issues and have the same goal, which is to protect the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park. The collaboration and knowledge sharing with those councils is critical.
It's very important for discrete Indigenous local government to be involved in this program.
The Reef Guardian Council program allows us to network with other professionals in different local government areas, so we can learn from each other and get some really great ideas. It also creates great professional development opportunities. We're all coming together and working towards the same goal.
Working in collaboration with other councils right across the state, particularly those on the Great Barrier Reef, so that we can learn from each other and support each other but reduce any impacts on the reef together.
The Reef Guardian Council program is a great opportunity for a small council like ours to connect with fellow reef catchment councils, to coordinate actions and support each other with ideas, advice and sharing relevant knowledge and opportunities.
This program inspires and acknowledges improved environmental practices by local governments.
It benefits our council by being integrated and collaborative with other local governments across the state and building upon a shared education and capacity building and building our knowledge networks.
It's vitally important to be a member of the Reef Guardian Council and the work that they do in protecting the reef. Look, I would encourage any councils that want to be part of the program to join. There are great benefits there.
Staff take action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, treat wastewater, clean up litter or revegetate bushland. They know it's part of our Reef Guardian program and it's contributing to the long-term health of the Great Barrier Reef.
Partnerships on the Great Barrier Reef have never been more important for its effective management. That's why we're so proud of our Reef Guardian Council partners who are making a very real and tangible difference to the future of the Great Barrier Reef.
So where to from here? At the beginning of each local government term, we ask the councils to consider signing up for the program again through a memorandum of understanding with us. I think that's due to be discussed at the workshop following this meeting. As we said, the action plan is actually critical not only to promote the activities you're taking, but to act as a prospectus for further funding. We are asking each of the councils to consider potentially having longer term action plans in place. It just somewhat takes the administrative burden off you to review it every year. It's not a regulatory requirement, so it's something that you could review every year if you like, but you can have it in place for the 4-year term. CANS adopted that very early on and have a 4-year and we really highly recommend that. We are also seeking nominations to the Executive Committee and we are hoping that we get an elected representative and an executive. That just really represents council well and works well with the executive level discussions. The Executive Committee meeting is next week, is Wednesday. And it will be a very important meeting as it's the inaugural one for the 4-year term, and it will involve electing the new chair for the program, and this time hopefully potentially a deputy chair as well. We have very excellent working group representation for your council. Thank you for that. We did have the working group meeting on the 9th of May, and as I said, we do have the 5th of June executive committee meeting coming up. So they're the next steps in the program for us and for each of the councils. So we thank you very much for your time today. We really appreciate it. If you've got any questions or points of clarifications, I'm more than happy to discuss anything related.
Thank you for your work.
Well, thank you again, Rebecca and Rihanna. It was very informative, and the report for council to continue the reef guarding program is listed today in the resolution. So, all right. Thanks for your work.
Thanks so much.
Okay, there's no more minutes today. Confirmation of minutes of council meeting, that the minutes of the ordinary meeting held Tuesday, the 30th of April, 2024 to be confirmed. Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Rees, seconder. Councillor Rowley, all in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. Confirmation of minutes of special meeting held the 14th of May 2024, that the minutes of the special meeting held Tuesday the 24th is to be confirmed. Do I have a mover? Councillor Meadows, seconder. Councillor Rees, all in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. Is the Mayor's Diary for May 2024, that council notes the Mayor's external calendar appointment for May 2024. Do I have a mover for this? Councillor Reeves and a seconder. Councillor Meadows, all in favour? Unanimous vote. Thank you. Let's go. Okay, 6.2 is the Chief Executive Officer's Diary for May 2024. That council notes the Chief Executive Officer's external calendar appointment for May 2024. Can I have a move for that, please? Councillor Meadows and a seconder. Councillor Rees, all in favour? Unanimous vote. Thank you very much. 6.3, we have questions and notice from 30th of April 2024 Ordinary Council meeting. The recommendation is that council notes the responses to a question or notice received at the Ordinary Council meeting held 30th of April 2024. Do I have a mover for this motion? Councillor Rees, and the seconder. Councillor Rowley. Okay. All in favour? Unanimous vote. Thank you. For Reef Guardian Council Program. The recommendation is that council resolves to continue to participate in the Reef Guardian Council Program for the period 2024 to 2028. Nominate 2 representatives as core members of the executive committee, councillor and or senior management over the 4-year term, and 3, delegate authority under S257 of the Local Government Act 2009 to the Chief Executive Officer to finalise all matters in relation to the Reef Guardian Council program. Have a move for this one. Councillor Meadows. Second. Councillor Rees. Councillor Meadows, would you like to speak to this?
Oh, yes, I'd like to. Thank you. Madam Mayor, I think the presentation that we've just had just highlights the importance, particularly for the Douglas Shire. The fact that we're a shire that has 2 World Heritage Listed areas face to face, and the importance of the reef to this area is beyond significant. The program, I think, for our involvement in this program is essential, and I strongly support it.
Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Any further comments?
No, it's a great program, and we've obviously got a fantastic team, so thank you.
Thank you. I'd just like to, I've been speaking, Councillor Marley is very interested in being nominated as a representative, so I'd like to nominate Councillor Marley.
Yeah, I'll be very happy to accept that. I don't think anything really more needs to be said about the importance of this program, and also the great work that Douglas, its council officers, and councillors also over the years have contributed to this program. It's extremely exciting, extremely important. I love this on so many levels. As a teacher also, the kids are really benefiting, and essentially the world will benefit from these initiatives. So, yeah, I don't think we really need to speak to the motion. It's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, totally agree with you. It's a great program for this council to be involved in. So, and thank the staff over many years of really worked hard on this program. It really shows what it shows, so thank you. No more comments?
Do we have to nominate, sorry, a senior management, or does that just go straight to Mr. Boyle, or?
I'm going to take that to the chair. It depends if a second councillor would like to nominate, or if not, we'll work through it.
Okay, so is there another councillor who would like to nominate to be?
Would it be more beneficial to have, a staff?
Yeah.
So, and through the chair, that was the recommendation
Yes.
from the authority that just presented. Yes.
Yeah, so maybe we have one councillor, one staff member.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So all in favour of the recommendation? Unanimous vote. Six point five, the financial reports for April 2024. That council knows the statement of comprehensive income and the statement of the financial position for April 2024. Have a move of this? Councillor Rees, seconder. Councillor Meadows. Councillor Rees, would you like to speak to this? Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Does anyone else want to speak?
Just like to say, quite obviously, I think most chief financial officers would be extremely excited if they could write into a report that operating revenues ahead of budget by $25 million. It's quite an unusual thing. The operating surplus is $9.7 million compared to a budgeted surplus of $238,000. It's quite an unusual situation. And so it does make things a little tricky for staff, for council in general. So thank you to everyone who worked on this, and especially your team, Tara. If there's anything in particular, sorry, I'd like to open to Tara, if there's anything that you'd like to say about those figures, if that's okay.
Through the chair, no, I think you summed it up quite well, Councillor Nolly. It is a very unusual circumstance, and one that I'll probably never see anyone through it. So we are working really hard on our current budget for 24-25, and obviously all of this plays into that, the timing of everything. So it is a lot of work, and thank you, and we'd like to thank my team for all the hard work they are putting into all of this.
Thank you.
Any further comments? No? Okay, so, we'll put to the vote. In favour? Unanimous vote. Thank you. Six point six, this is cyclone adjustment expenditure for April 2024. 22, council to note the funding arrangements received to date from Queensland Reconstruction Authority. Another mover for this one, Councillor Rees, and a seconder, Councillor Meadows. Would you like to speak to it, Councillor Rees? No? Anyone like to speak against it?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to Ms. Colleen, just one of the categories here is machinery hire, cyclone cleanup and Danger River dredging. I don't expect it to be able to, could I have a breakdown on that, please?
With the chair, just I can take that on notes.
Any further comments? I'd just like to say that it's quite obvious the amount of work by these figures is happening within our shire for the recovery, and so it's going to continue for quite a while yet. So that I think we have pretty well considered what we've been through. So I like to think everyone involved in this one.
Sorry, I was just thinking, just for the public interest, I did ask about, you know, instead of, if council were to take on these works ourselves, you know, buy equipment or whatever, and try to take on this work, just for understanding, it's much more economical, even though this isn't coming up anyway, it's much more economical to make people doing it, and having these, contractors work. It's just for interest sake.
Through the chair, yes, agree. The staff will not have some.
No.
It's going to continue for many years.
And it's also good to see that, you know, quite a few of these are our local employees.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to the vote, all in favour? Unanimous vote, thank you. Next is the rates and charges financial hardship policy. Recommendation is that council adopts the revised rates and charges financial hardship policy. Do I have a mover? Councillor Rees, and a seconder? Councillor Notley, Councillor Rees, would you like to speak to this? Okay, would anyone like to speak against the motion?
I'd like to ask one question, really not me, just to Ms. Colleen. I'm just I'm a bit confused with one of the sentences on page 102. If the assessment of council is that the restoration of a ratepayer's financial situation over the medium to long term is unlikely, the application will not be approved. I'm not exactly how the assessment's done.
So through the chair, I'm just trying to find it on my page because I haven't got the page notes. So it's in the policy itself.
Yes, it's first page
Provisionals.
policy.
I know the provisions. If the assessment of council is that the restoration of a ratepayer's financial situation over the medium to long term is unlikely. So, the purpose of this, this policy is to provide a medium term assistance, I guess, to the ratepayer. So, if this isn't going to work, we obviously have to have other methods. So, I think that's all it's trying to say, is that the application is intended to get the ratepayer through a period of hardship, not the longer term situation. So it's a prime example would be someone impacted by Cyclone Jasper, they've been impacted in the short term. This isn't about their longer term financial situation, and if they're unable to sustain over a longer term period, then this wouldn't be applicable. We do find that a lot of ratepayers end up on an arrangement to pay instead, because that way they're able to pay off their rates in the short term over, rather than having it all push out and come to a head later down the track. So we do work through various options that are outlined in the policy.
Okay, so that's
clear.
well, that's not saying that it's not going to be, they're not going to be taken off, they're not going to be forced to sell land.
Obviously, every situation is considered individually, that we have one, offer of support that we have like this.
So the application as it stands won't be accepted, there will be some form of cost recovery. Sure.
Sorry, don't think I understand what you're asking.
I'm just wondering, to me, just reading it, it sounds like the application will not be approved.
I think the wording for is if it's, councillor Libertari, is if it's a long-term arrangement, then it would be refused and then they'd go to negotiate about it.
That's what I think wasn't clear.
So, very nice question. So perhaps for clarity, we may be facing a difficult situation or difficult times coming up with the milk and the cane situation. If someone or if a property owner finds themselves in what's looking like it's going to be long-term financial difficulty, this may not be the policy for them. There may be something else that council can at least consider. I think, is that more or less what that kind of is getting at?
Yes, sorry, through the chair. Certainly, the Regs team are open to individuals coming to have a discussion about personal situations. We definitely encourage that.
That's how I was trying to keep
Sorry, probably
Get a roundabout one.
Okay, any, got anything more to say? No? Okay, we'll, put it to the vote, all in favour? Unanimous vote, thank you. And 6.8, revenue general policy 2024 to 25. Recommendation is that council adopts the revenue general policy 24 to 25. Do we have a move for this motion? Councillor Rees and a seconder. Councillor Meadows. Councillor Rees, would you like to speak to us? No. Okay, do you have anyone want to speak against the policy? Anyone else like to speak to it? Okay, all in favour? Unanimous vote, thank you. 6.9 is the 2024 to 25 schedule of fees and charges. Recommendation is 1, to adopt the schedule of fees and charges for the 2024 to 25 financial year, and 2, delegate authority under S 257 of the Local Government Act 2009 to the Chief Executive Officer to negotiate fees and charges where circumstances warrant and to make minor administrative amendments to the schedule. Might have a move for the motion. Councillor Williams, and a seconder. Councillor Meadows. Councillor Rees, would you like to speak to the motion? Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Anyone else like to speak on the motion?
I'd like to say something. Thank you. I think it's important to know that this is not a money grabbing way for council. It's often just a cost recovery. Unfortunately, nobody likes to put up any percentages. We have spoken about it, we workshopped it, and as a viable way to go forward, these increases are necessary. I think that's important. Thank you.
Okay, want to put it to the vote, all in favour? Unanimous vote, thank you. 6.10, support Douglas Splash Park concept. Recommendation. Port Douglas Splash Park concept, the recommendation is that council resolves to proceed to detailed design and construction of option B, larger concept design for the Port Douglas Aquatic Precinct Splash Park. Do I have a mover for this? Councillor Meadows, seconder, Councillor Reid. Councillor Meadows, would you like to speak to it?
Yes, I'd love to, Madam Mayor. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the project team on this. they've come up with, they presented two options to us, option A, option B. Option B obviously was the one we workshopped, we discussed heavily in the workshop, and I think it's a very important thing for not just Port Douglas, but the Douglas Shire in general. I think it's something for the whole of the Shire to utilise. It's a link between our environment, the theme of the whole water park is linked to our environment. It's also educational. We could sit here and discuss the wish list of what people wanted, and the reality is, as a council, we have to be fiscally responsible for what we do with ratepayers' money. And I think that the introduction of the approval of the Douglas Shire Splash Park in Jalopy Park is a massive step forward for the local community, and I think it will also be a major broadcast for not just long-term visitors, but we'll get day visitors. There'll be all kinds of benefits out of this construction. But I think, as I alluded to, we have to be financial managers, and we have to make good decisions, sound decisions based on what our ratepayer base can afford. And I think that this has been the best possible outcome we can possibly get.
Do you have anyone who would like to speak against it?
I'd like to say something for it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So then I'd like to speak for it. Would you like something to say?
I do, sorry, thank you, Madam Mayor. I do agree with Councillor Meadows. Most people don't know, I actually work as a lifeguard at Camps Lagoon, and they said that the greatest thing they ever put in was the splash park. It's the greatest bang for your buck. The option B is twice the size of the original. There's picnic shelters, barbecues, which are they're all going to be very well utilised. I'm very happy that Mosman got theirs first because it's been used quite a lot, and I think this will put Port Douglas on the map. So it's fantastic.
Anyone else like to speak? Yes, no?
Thank you. I think it's really important to say that development for the sake of development is not always positive. A poorly designed, positioned, implemented development is probably more of a detriment to an area or to a shire than nothing. That's possibly some of the reasons why this has taken so long to come about. We had to get the position right, put in the wrong position in Port Douglas. Mosman was easy, we went to a precinct. To put in the wrong position in Port Douglas would have been more of a detriment, I think, than anything. And then, to get the wrong design would have been also a detriment. We don't want just anything. Port Douglas deserves a nice looking splash park. And this is what this option B is all about. It's all about presenting a nice looking one. And something that's deserving of our beautiful area. So that's really important. Like everyone, it's nice to find the city coming. I agree with that. But it's really important to get these things right. So obviously I'm one of the councillors, like all of us, who is really excited about this. It has been a bit of a headache in the past term as well, so it's hopefully we'll see a bit of action by the end of the year. Very happy to support this.
Look, it's always one of the most anticipated projects of the Douglas Shire for the last 8 years, so finally it's good to see it come to fruition.
I think it's really important that this has come up now, and I'm just glad that we need to really get on with it and get it built. And this is going to be a great centre for, especially Port Douglas and the community, because we'll have barbecues and it'll be a good family area, and close to Surf Lifesaving Club, close to the beach and restaurants. So I believe it's a big plus for Port Douglas in general and our whole community. So I totally support this one. Okay, we'll put it to the vote. All in favour? Unanimous vote. Thank you. 6.11, F&Q Rock Regional Development Annual Planning Scheme Policy. This review of submissions and adoption of amendments for version 0523, issue 9. The recommendation is that council resolves to adopt the proposed amendments for version 05.23, issue 9 to the FNQ Role Development Manual Planning Scheme Policy as modified, having regard to the submission received in accordance with requirements for the qualified state interest amendments in the Minister's Guidelines and Rules under Planning Act 2016. Do I have a mover for this? Councillor Nolly, thank you, and a seconder. Councillor Reeves. Councillor Nolly, would you like to speak to it?
No, this, not being an engineer doesn't get me overly excited, but I believe it's important, so I'm happy to support it.
Okay, anyone like to speak against the motion? No, anyone else has any comments? Okay, we'll put it to the vote, all in favour? Unanimous, thank you. 6.12, application for permanent partial road closure adjoining 4951 Norfolk Street, Port Douglas. The recommendation is that council delegates authority to the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with S257 of the Local Government Act 2009-2. A, advise the landowners and Department of Resources that council does not support the permanent partial road closure of approximately 238 square metres adjoining 4951 Northeast Road, Port Douglas, formerly described as Block 5 on RP 744198, due to the presence of council infrastructure, and B, finalise any and all matters associated with the unsupported proposal. Do I have a mover for this motion? Councillor Reeves, and a seconder. Councillor Notley. Councillor Reeves, would you like to speak to it? Okay, anyone would like to speak against the motions? Okay, anyone else would like to speak to it? Okay, we'll put it to the vote, all in favour? Unanimous vote. Okay. 6.13, tender for Marine Rescue Services Lot 51, SP 288958 Wolf Street, Port Douglas. The recommendation is that council offers a trustee permit to the state government represented by Queensland Police Service, QPS, over Lot 51 on SP 288958 Wolf Street, Port Douglas, to provide marine rescue service from Alice Beach to the Hope Islands and store flares and associated flammable materials. One for a term of 12 months commencing on 30th of April 2024 and expiring 29th of April 2025, or until trustee lease is in place. 2, utilising the terms and conditions of the standard terms document registered under dealing number 720830775 and Schedule 3 of the Land Regulation 2020, and 3, grant for the term of the trustee permit to be waived, and 2, delegate authority under S257 of the Local Government Act 2009 to the Chief Executive Officer to determine and finalise all matters in relation to the trustee permit. Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Meadows, and a seconder. Councillor Reeves. Councillor Meadows, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yeah, I think it's a good in-kind arrangement with Volunteer Marine Rescue. They're an essential part of our local emergency services, and the continuation of that location at BC is essential for the whole region.
Anyone would like to speak against the motion? Any further comments? Yes, question.
Of course I support this, is my concern. Just from reading the report, it looks like that possibly maybe next year something might become a bit more permanent. Is that correct? Or?
Through the chair, yes, that's correct, Councillor Nolly. We will be
A long road?
It has been a long road, but since the Blue Water Review has now been completed and the recommendations have been adopted, it's moving forward, and we will be talking to the Queensland Police Service in March next year, just to check in and make sure it's going towards a trustee lease for the longer term with the 5 years that they have.
Essentially though, the arrangements that we've been doing every year hasn't really hindered anyone though, has it? It's been fully functional, so it hasn't been a problem really, has it?
No, this position has worked.
Yeah.
So we continue to keep going with you towards establishing a long-term security arrangement as a circumstance.
Just makes our meetings shorter. Fantastic. Thank you.
important part, as Councillor Leno said, it's a very important part. And with their work with the dramas before swap over, it's good to see this work being good with that. Keep that on there.
Vote, all in favour? Unanimous. 6.14, Radif Advisory Committee nominations. Recommendation is that council, number 1, endorses the appointment of committee members, Ruben Boyer, Anastasia Klaus, Tilling Melchik, Helen Ramasaki, sorry for pronouncing that wrong, and Sasha Virtual Tromberger, to the Regional Arts Development Fund Advisory Committee, to serve a term of 4 years with an option to step down after 2 years. Number 2, to endorse the appointment of myself and Councillor Abigail Holly to the Regional Arts Development Fund Advisory Committee, to serve a term of 4 years with an option to step down after 2 years. And number 3 is to delegate authority to the Mayor and the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with Local Government Act 2009 to finalise any minor amendments in relation to Council's Regional Arts Development Program Committee. I'd like to move the comments. Councillor Rees, on the second day. Councillor Meadows, Councillor Rees, would you like to speak to it?
I think it's a great program. I actually went, it was a beautiful art exhibition, and it was nice to see Linda Jackson back. So the Shire does attract some pretty phenomenal artists, so we really great to see this roll out.
Anyone would like to speak against the motion? Any comments?
Thank you for the recommendation for appointment. I will gladly accept that. I have been on the Radif committee for quite some years now. Really love it. I love what the broader spectrum of art means in the Shire. It's not just the classical visual arts, but we're talking a broad range of things, and it does embrace many aspects, or many people, many communities in the Shire. The committee members, our last committee was great. I know pretty much everyone, the new committee members, that they'll be fantastic for the Radif Advisory. And I really look forward to seeing what we can do over the next few years, and led by Jess and Robert.
Oh, look, I just like to say this is great, as Councillor Rees said, with art shows, and a lot of this success of this is down in Miss Lord. I'd like to congratulate her on this.
More to come. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm excited to be endorsed onto this group, and I think it's very important for our Shire to have a really good raffle program. So, thank you. Now, would you like to put it to a vote? All in favour? Unanimous vote. Thank you. Okay, we have no notice of motions. No urgent business. Okay. Under 9, we do have a petition today. Petition is regarding a request for a volleyball court at Willie Prince Park, Cooper Beach. We received a virtual responsive officer for consideration and report to the council. Do I have a mover for this? Councillor Rees, Councillor Rees, second. Councillor Nobley, would anyone like to speak to the, anyone against the motion? Any further comments? Okay, we'll put it to the vote. Okay, council will now go into a closed session. I will move to the closed session, thanks. Councillor Rees, and a seconder.